In a world that's just overflowing with information, it's so easy to feel lost, right? But what if there was an ancient wisdom, a kind of path of fire that could cut right through all that noise? What if it could offer a direct line to clarity, to a much deeper understanding of ourselves? Well, today we're diving into exactly that. We're exploring Agni Yoga, the yoga of synthesis. Okay, let's get into it. First things first, we got to tackle a modern problem. I mean, the word yoga is literally everywhere. It's attached to everything. You've got hot yoga, goat yoga, aerial yoga. It's become this huge kind of confusing, commercialized landscape. The source material for this actually points out something fascinating. We see way more names for yoga here in the West than they do in the East, where the whole thing started. And the author gives this hilarious example to make the point. Just imagine someone decides to meditate with their right hand lifted up. Someone takes a picture, they write a book about it, and bam, it's called Yoga of the Right Hand Lift. And of course, it becomes a massive bestseller. Then, once that idea's run its course, the same person is photographed with their left hand up. A whole new book comes out, Yoga of the Left Hand Lift. And guess what? It sells even better. It just perfectly captures the absurdity we're all swimming in. But all this confusion really stems from a huge misunderstanding of what the word yoga actually means in the first place. So, let's clear the air, let's correct that misunderstanding and redefine what yoga is really all about. And you can forget the common translations you've heard, like union or communion. The true meaning is something, well, it's a lot more profound. Okay, this is such a great way to look at it. Let's talk about the difference between unity and synthesis. Unity is when you construct something. You bring separate parts together, right? Like assembling a machine, or even tying a bunch of loose petals together to look like a flower. But synthesis, that's totally different. Synthesis is the natural created oneness of a flower that's still growing on the plant. The oneness is already there. It wasn't built, it just is. And that is the absolute key takeaway. Yoga means synthesis. It's about recognizing a oneness that already exists, not about forcing separate things together. It's a state of being, not an act of building something. And once you have this definition in your head, the path forward starts to make a whole lot more sense. Which brings us to Agni Yoga, which is described as the yoga of the future. Now, the word Agni actually means fire. So this path uses the very essence of our own mind, which is understood as a type of fire, as the starting point for this whole journey of synthesis. According to this wisdom, all of creation can be seen through the lens of three main types of fire. You have the highest level, the cosmic or electric fire. Then below that, you have solar fire. But the third one, fire by friction, that's the one that's most immediate to us. It's the fire of the material world, right where our own experience begins. And this is where it all clicks together. Our own mind, our consciousness, is understood as a single flame of this third, lowest fire. It's just a temporary expansion of our existence, the same way a physical flame is just a temporary phase of a larger fire. And this is the key to the whole practice. We start with the one flame we actually know, our own consciousness. Okay, so to understand how we operate, we kind of need to meet the architects. The source describes these intelligent forces called devas, who are the unseen builders of our physical bodies. Think of them as master craftsmen, working from some kind of divine blueprint. And there are two main supervisors on the job. First, you've got the deva of form. This is the keeper of heredity, the one that makes sure a dog parent has a puppy, not a kitten. Then there's a deva of number. This is the anatomist, the intelligence that makes sure we have two hands, two eyes, the right number of bones. These intelligences literally build us from the ground up. So here is the big shift in perspective. Yoga isn't just about controlling your breath or holding a pose on a mat. It's about establishing a conscious connection, a real communion with the very intelligences that constructed and now maintain our physical and mental forms. But how do we actually do that? Well, Agni Yoga gives us this powerful metaphor for the practice, walking a fiery path. And this isn't a journey out in the world. It's all about navigating our own chaotic inner world. The path is described just like this, a disciple walking all alone through a burning forest. There are flames everywhere and this thick, dense smoke that blinds your eyes and chokes your breath. Yeah, it sounds intense because, well, it is. So let's break this down because it's a fantastic metaphor. The burning forest, that's just the chaotic, unpredictable stuff that happens in our daily lives. The dense, blinding smoke,
That's our emotional turmoil, all the anger, fear, and desires that just cloud our judgment. And the flames? Well, those represent the danger of getting lost in all that chaos, of being totally consumed by it, only to repeat the same cycles over and over again.
So, if your eyes are blinded by the smoke of your own emotions, how in the world do you find your way? Well, here's the twist. You don't use your eyes, you use your ears. You have to listen. The instruction for the disciple is to literally close their eyes to the distracting chaos all around them and listen for the call of the one flame. This is the voice of a deeper truth, the call from someone who has already crossed this path. It's all about tuning out the noise of emotion and tuning into the signal of pure intelligence. And what happens when you actually manage to navigate that forest? Well, your perception of reality fundamentally changes. You start to see not just the individual flames, but the one fire they all come from. Think about it. Normally, we see what we want to see. I look at someone and I see my friend or a stranger. I see my wife, not the entire whole person she actually is. These are just our labels, our own little inverted images. The yoga path trains us to stop imposing our ideas on everything and to start seeing what is truly there, the single divine presence inside everything and everyone. And there's this beautiful story that illustrates this perfectly. The Buddha asks a disciple to look up at the night sky, and the disciple's first answer is pretty much what any of us would say. I see millions and millions of separate stars, all scattered across the darkness. But after walking the path of Agni Yoga, the disciple is asked the same question again, and this time the answer is completely different. He says, I still see millions of stars, but now I see them only as countless flames glittering out from the same fire, just shining through little holes in a wall of darkness. The feeling of separation is totally gone. There is only one source. And the best part is, this isn't some abstract practice you have to go do for an hour a day in a special room. The laboratory for Agni Yoga is your life. It's your daily routine, it's how you interact with people, it's your speech, your thoughts, your every single action. That's where the real work happens. So it all leaves us with this final, really powerful question to think about. What if you just stopped looking for yoga on a mat or in a studio or in some special technique and realized that your life right now, with all its chaos and its challenges, is the absolute perfect place for your practice? What if every single moment is an opportunity to navigate that burning forest and listen for the call of the one flame?